Almanac, and we're going to check in with Professor Jeff Stein, who's talking about a very special implement today on the program of something that happened in our history. Good morning, Professor. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. Good morning to you both. I told this story last night in Fayette, where I was speaking to the Fayette County Farm Bureau meeting. We talked about Iowa Almanac stories, and I had to quickly point out that one of their famous alums was a fellow named Parker, who had a competing company. You got to be careful when you go out there. You got to make sure that you give everybody the props they deserve. But today's story is not about Mr. Parker and his pens. Today's story is about Walter Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer was running a successful jewelry business in Fort Madison in 1907 when he came up with the idea of making a new kind of fountain pen. Now, keep in mind, we didn't have ballpoint pens and didn't have felt tip markers. We had fountain pens, and most of the pens at that time were ink droppers, and kind of messy, quite honestly. But Schaefer designed a self-filling fountain pen with a lever on the barrel, so you could draw the ink into the pen, and it wasn't nearly as messy. He patented that design in 1908, 110 years ago, and went into the pen business full-time. In fact, the W.A. Schaefer Pen Company was incorporated on January 1st of 1913 with a value of $35,000. Schaefer sold the jewelry business and expanded pen manufacturing in Fort Madison. And soon, Walter Schaefer's pens were popular across the country, a real status symbol, in fact. A full-page ad in the Saturday Evening Post in 1914 proclaimed, "Big business demands Schaefer's pens." They cost 3 times more than their competitors. The lowest price pen sold for $8.75 back in 1920. Can't imagine spending that much for a pen today, quite honestly. But the more expensive pens, if you were spending $8, they had lifetime guarantees. But that's not really the point of the story. This is. Fast forward to this date, August 8th of 1945. Now, this day in history, probably best known as when the U.S. dropped the second atomic bomb on Japan. We talked about the first one 2 days ago. But it's also the day, this day in history on that year, when the United States became the first nation to complete the ratification process and join a new international organization. You've heard of it. It's the United Nations. Given the war circumstances, the bombing, etc., there was no pomp and circumstance associated with the signing, just a small ceremony in San Francisco. President Harry S. Truman signed first. He pushed aside the stack of ceremonial pens that they typically used, where they used 10 or 15 pens just to write their name and then hand them out. Mm-hmm. Instead, he just pulled out a 10-cent desk pen. That is so Harry Truman, isn't it? And signed his name. So then came the Secretary of State, James Burns. He was next to sign the document, and he pulled out a pen from his coat pocket. You guessed it, a Schaefer pen made in Fort Madison, Iowa. And so it was that the document that brought the United Nations into being bears a signature made using a pen manufactured by an Iowa company, when the U.S. Secretary of State pulled a Schaefer from his pocket to sign off on this date in 1945.
Wow, that's
unbelievable.
Going back into history and you find those little tidbits, again, having Iowa connections.
And we know we always have an incredible reaction here in studio and with our viewing audience. How was the reaction last night when you were telling this story?
Well, it's interesting, Jackie. A lot of them have heard the radio program. Some have seen us talk about it on TV, some who travel a little more to central Iowa. And we talked about a lot of different stories. The one that we talked about not long ago of Jacob Schick in Ottumwa inventing the razor, that got a nice response from folks. And we talked about a variety of things. I told them this was a sneak preview, and I would tell them the story last night, but only if they promised to listen to the radio today.
Good for you.
So we're going to keep them to that.
Yeah,
we're going to hold them to it.
Absolutely.
That's really the neat thing about Iowa Almanac is you learn little tidbits like this and realize the connection to the state is so deep, and it just goes throughout history.
Yeah, and one of the things that we talked about this last night and at the other presentations I've done, and you guys go out all the time. I love going out and sharing these stories with groups. And, even on the ones that we know something about, there's always a little hook. that you can work into it so that you can always know a little more about it. So even if you think you know the topic, there's always one more little thing to learn.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, if people want to go back and revisit what we just got done talking about, what's the easiest way to do so?
Go to iowaalmanac.com. We also have Twitter and Instagram at Iowa Almanac, but iowaalmanac.com has all the stories, today's and the other ones we've talked about, and there's even a contact link there, and many CW Iowa Live viewers have suggested topics, and that's also where you can contact me if you'd like to have me come and talk to your group about it. Happy to do so. And by the way, a Farm Bureau meeting, that's a good meal. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I bet it is.
I would imagine it is. Now, just off topic a little bit here, but I understand Floppy is going to be making an appearance too here real soon.
Yeah, and before I mention Floppy, I should mention Iowa Ag Secretary Mike Naig was there last night and actually introduced me at the presentation. So I was glad to have the Ag Secretary there. Floppy currently lives at the Ankeny Area Historical Society. And every Sunday afternoon, during the summer, they have an open house, and you can come visit Floppy. Well, we're making it even more special this weekend because, of course, Dwayne and Floppy at the State Fair, and you're going to start that fair tomorrow, parade tonight, of course. Well, I'm going to be there on Sunday at 1 o'clock doing a presentation with video clips and telling all sorts of stories about the 30 years Dwayne and Floppy were in our lives on TV and at the fair. So Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, Ankeny Area Historical Society. I will be there. We'll do the presentation. It's free and open to the public. And then we'll have a book signing, and DVDs will be available. But more importantly, you can come see the little puppy dog in person.
That works.
Nice.
All right. We'll remind you that later on this week as well. But looking forward to seeing you, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, same time.
I will be right here. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
There you go, Professor Jeff Stein. What a great job he does. And I love the Iowa ties to everything that he talks about. That is so cool. All right, time to take a peek and let you know what is coming up on the program. Here, Jackie is going to get you caught up with news coming up in just a little bit. Also, what kind of weather are we going to have for the start of the fair? We'll have all the details on that momentarily. Our friends from Dole are here, Dole Food Company, and boy, they have some tasty summer treats they're going to create for right before your very eyes at 9:20 this morning. Totally serious news at 9:40. So again, another busy hour.
Absolutely. But before we go, we want to talk about the summer of salmonella. As many are, recalls. What is there? It's Ritz crackers, salads. In today's Health Minute, we're just talking about how to be safe when it comes to food.
First up, clean. Wash your hands and kitchen surfaces with warm soapy water for 20 seconds before and after handling food.
Make sure that you're cleaning or switching knives or cutting boards in between handling raw meat and raw produce.
Do not wash raw meats before cooking or you risk spreading the germs. Separate.
From the time you pick up your food at the market, you'll want to keep it separated.
Keep the separation going when you store your food in the fridge and freezer. Cook. Use a food thermometer to make sure everything is properly cooked.
You want to reach a safe internal temperature of chicken or red meat to make sure that you're killing any bacteria that might be present there.
Finally, chill.
So you want to make sure that your refrigerator is at 40 degrees or below for storing those foods.
The CDC recommends putting food away within 2 hours or toss it. For today's Health Minute, I'm James Rowbottom.
Well, the summer of salmonella. Okay, and that should be a shirt, bumper sticker.
We'll call Ray Gun, see if they can
whip one of those up in the next 11 or 12 days. I bet you'll saw a couple of them. All right, 10 minutes past 9 o'clock. We'll be back. This is CW Iowa Live.
You're watching CW Iowa Live with Lou Seipel, Jackie Schmeling. We are Iowa's most accurate forecast with meteorologist Taylor Knust. This is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everyone. It's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock right now. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here.
Good morning.
Wednesday is upon us already, and we talked about this earlier when we first woke up. Actually got down to 59 degrees over east of Des Moines early this morning, but it's going to ramp up rather quickly.
Yeah, a little chilly out there and had some fog earlier this morning, but looks to be a gorgeous day as Taylor Knust has been talking about the heat coming in for the Great Iowa State Fair. Let's find out what's happening the rest of today, however. Good morning, Taylor.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Some of us had to deal with a little bit of fog earlier this morning, but that seems to be clearing out, and it's full sunshine ahead for the rest of your Wednesday. Future Tracker does not show a whole lot going on in Iowa today other than maybe a couple of showers near Creston later this afternoon. Odds are Des Moines is going to stay dry for your Wednesday, and it's going to be a little warmer with that additional sunshine. Highs today in the mid and upper 80s across the state. Now, fast forward to tomorrow, it's going to be even hotter. We're looking at 90s by tomorrow afternoon. Heat index values in the mid 90s, so drink plenty of water, grab plenty of AC when you're heading out to the fair tomorrow. Otherwise, dry for most of the day. There will be a slight chance for some storms late afternoon, early evening here around the metro, so keep that in mind if you'll be out at the fair around that time. The rest of the week is looking dry. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all sunny with highs in the upper 80s, so looking pretty nice at that point. We will have more chances for rain during the middle of next week, and temperatures will be kind of hovering around that 90-degree mark for the extended forecast.
Yeah, those temperatures not being in the 90s, I bet you the fair people are saying those look like 100,000 days. 100,000 attendees
Evil.
at the
Yeah,
Iowa State
absolutely.
Fair.
We'll find out. We'll be there live bright and early tomorrow morning, so make sure you check in with us every day. And also come visit us at the Great Iowa State Fair. We'll be at the Ann and Bill Riley stage every day starting at noon. Right now, we want to take a peek outside and see what's happening as far as traffic is concerned. Looking pretty darn good out there in the 9 o'clock hour. We do have one thing to let you know about, and that's a crash on the southbound off-ramp to Mills Civic. Of course, that's going to be on West Des Moines on I-35. So once again, if you are traveling southbound and on the off-ramp to get onto Mills Civic, there is a crash right on that ramp. So that might be causing you a bit of a headache if that's part of your normal commute around the metro. Otherwise, things looking pretty darn decent out there. Just realize we're going to get a lot of guests in town, especially with these beautiful temperatures, all heading towards the east side of the metro, towards the Great Iowa State Fair. Many people downtown later on tonight for the parade. So keep all of that in mind. Let's also keep in mind where those mobile speed cameras are located, as we let you know every Iowa Live morning. 2900 block of McKinley Avenue. That's one area you want to watch out for by the Iowa National Guard. Second one to be aware of on this Wednesday morning, that's the 5400 block of Park Avenue by the Raccoon River Park. And a third one, that's the 3800 block of Southwest 9th Street. We mentioned that not only because you want to watch out, but also we're going to be heading that direction later on tonight with Zoo Brew at the Blank Park Zoo. So definitely want to be slowing on down so you don't get any surprises in the mail. That being said, of course, at Zoo Brew, we're always encouraging you to capture your wild side. So take a photo of your favorite animal or your family while you're out at the Blank Park Zoo, and we'll be hanging out there, and make sure you tag us. So CW Iowa 23 is what you need to be putting on your posts. And if we see that pop up on Facebook, you might just see your photo pop up on live TV tomorrow.
Featured animal of the week, the one you saw behind us there, the lions, and not the little lion cubs anymore, the big lion cubs. Folks, if you haven't been out to the zoo for a while since the cubs were tiny, you're going to be amazed at how fast they have grown. So there'll be a big line there, I'm sure. So get a picture with the lion cubs tonight. And there'll be somebody out there, too, about 6:30, telling you all about the progress and how the pride is coming together. Do remember, if you get to the zoo and you don't hear the band playing and it's not really loud and you're down near the lions, it's because we moved it up to the Zooplex, and that's where the Sheet will be performing.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a look at some other local Rip and Read headlines people are talking about today. There was a special election that happened yesterday in Warren County, so let's find out those results. The old courthouse shut down earlier this year because of mold, a rotting foundation, and other hazardous problems. So yesterday, voters said they want to build a new one. Now that it's been approved, the $30 million project will raise property taxes by $90 a year. So that's what the citizens were deciding on yesterday. The proposal needed at least 60% approval to pass. Nearly 70% of people voted yes on the measure.
It really needed to be done, and people realize that. So, yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Speaking of courthouse plans, how about a federal courthouse? That's what they're saying they want along the Des Moines River. But it's a case of condos versus courthouse, a fight for one of the biggest pieces of downtown real estate to hit the Des Moines market in years. So the General Services Administration said yesterday that they plan to build a $137 million federal courthouse at the site of the former Riverfront YMCA. The federal government first announced it was leaning towards doing this about a year ago, but prominent developer Hubble Realty, which also owns the vacant property, released plans just the day before, saying that they wanted to build a $75 million luxury condominium development. So what's going to happen? Is it going to be condominiums? Is it going to be at a courthouse? The federal government said that it will move forward with plans to purchase that land from Hubble Realty, who's been paying taxes on it. They also said if they can't come to an agreement with Hubble on making that purchase, they do have the rights to claim it with eminent domain because it is the federal government. So who's going to win in this fight? It's definitely a battle right now, but we will let you know as soon as we hear the results.
Put them both in there. Condos and courtrooms, or courthouse condos. You know, see, you combine things all the time. Just put them both in there.
And many people are saying if it is going to be the courthouse, which is where it's kind of leaning right now because of the power that they have, they're saying just make sure it is fun to be walking along that way. Maybe put in other things. It doesn't have to necessarily be condominiums, but maybe a restaurant or something so that people want to continue along the river walk there. Yeah. Speaking of some options, you have some options if you're heading to the Great Iowa State Fair as far as parking and travel, because the DART bus is stepping up once again, but things are going to be a little bit different this year. All DART buses will drop you off and pick you up now at gate 10.
Oh, that's over by our stage.
Yeah, at the state fairgrounds. So service starts at 8:30 in the morning, goes through midnight every day of the fair. So if you don't want the pain of finding a parking spot, or sometimes the pay that you have to give
10 bucks or 12
bucks, or more depending on where you're parking, they're saying this will be the perfect option for you. In fact, more than 220,000 bus rides happen every year at the fair, and thousands of people do take advantage of that service. So might be something to think about if you're heading to the fair tomorrow. Taking a look at another local Rip and Read headline that we have for you today. Speaking of traveling, many people out and about riding their bicycles. Well, you'll be excited to hear that the underground tunnel bike path on Fleur Drive has the green light from the Des Moines City Council. The bike path would connect riders and walkers from Grays Lake to Des Moines Waterworks. Right now, they have to wait for the light to change to go through the busy intersection. So the project is being funded by the Des Moines Waterworks Foundation. It won't cost Des Moines taxpayers anything, and they're saying construction should now officially start next year. Speaking of water, another incident downtown. So the headaches of water main breaks aren't over for our downtown locations and business owners. So we're familiar with the video of what people saw at the farmers market this past Saturday. Well, you're not watching the same video again. There was another water main break yesterday in the same area right outside Java Joe's, the coffee shop in the Court Avenue District area. About 15 people were out trying to fix the problem yesterday. They're going to continue on with that today. Of course, businesses once again had to switch to bottled water while they were working on that. But businesses are open. Farmers market's still going to go on. Just a little bit more of a headache. Unfortunately, just days apart from two water main breaks in the same location.
They said part of the problem was it wasn't just the water, it was the sand that was used as a base sprayed all over the building.
Yeah.
So they had to have somebody come over, a service had to come over and clean off the sides of the building because it was covered with all this material.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right, so there's some local Rip and Read headlines people are talking about today. We can't wait to be talking about some delicious food when it comes to Dole Food Company. You want to know what we're talking about? Stay tuned. We're going to the kitchen next.
Dole's powering the hero within, Credibles 2.
Dole powering the hero within.
Yeah.
Dole powering the hero within.
So I'll just work my way table from here. There's 4 recipes, so I'll just work my way down from
Down
here.
the
So
direction.
you can start with this one here?
Yeah, I'll start with that one there.
That looks phenomenal.
Set up what the campaign is
Toast,
and what
peanut
we're
butter,
doing.
That
banana,
looks
blueberry.
awesome.
I like it. I like it.
Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9:22. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here, hanging out in the kitchen, one of our favorite spots of the studio. And we have Colin Whitley joining us from Dole Foods. As we are going to power from within. Dole has a program right now, Powering the Hero Within. And you're going to show us how we can ramp ourselves up when it comes to nutrition.
Absolutely. Dole is all about encouraging people to eat healthier, to eat more fruits and vegetables. But we know that's difficult with kids because most of the time kids don't want to eat fruits and veggies,
Right.
and it's a real struggle. I know it is with my kids, certainly. So we are in a long-term nutritional collaboration with the Walt Disney Company, and right now we are working with them for a Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2 themed campaign called Powering the Hero Within. And so we have a range of amazing, simple fruit and vegetable recipes that combine just a couple of ingredients, but that are specifically so that the family and kids can enjoy eating healthier, can add more fruits and vegetables into their diet.
Love this idea, especially as kids are getting ready to go back to school. These are some great snacks they can hopefully take with them to have a great day.
Absolutely.
You know?
Simple, real fun, and tastes great too.
And we're going to go around the gamut, too. It sounds like we have some breakfast items here,
Sure.
too.
Yeah. We have entrees, appetizers, snacks, desserts, smoothies, you name it, and they're all fun and make it interesting, and so that eating healthy doesn't have to be boring or not taste great. It can taste awesome. So.
And you could be your favorite superhero like the Incredibles are in that movie. Okay, so let's start things off because we're kind of into breakfast frame of mind,
That
and this looks like
breakfast.
something that'd be amazing to start your
So
day with.
this is the perfect portable grab and go breakfast item for your kids. It's real simple, only a few ingredients, just wheat toast with low-fat peanut butter, Dole bananas, blueberries, and pineapples, and a little bit of drizzle of honey on top. It's real simple, and a little bit of rice cereal for a crunch. It's something you can get the kids to eat, 3 or 4 different kinds of fresh produce.
That is a great idea, the crispy rice on there. I never would have thought of that.
Gives it a little extra touch. It's nice.
Okay.
Is that they're saying
This
I
looks
want to
good.
eat, I want to, I want to,
That's all yours,
We
yeah.
got to try this.
I want to eat my cereal. It's like, well, I got some on there for you. You're all good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds great. And you said
Oh
portable.
boy, you can get away with this easy.
They can run with that to school or to their favorite camp or anything they're doing in the
Well,
summertime.
and they'll be asking, parents to give them, fresh fruits and vegetables, and so because they make it simple and easy to
Isn't
do
that
so.
great with kids are asking, like, I
Oh,
want to
yeah,
eat my fruits and vegetables,
course.
especially if you make it in a fun way. And parents or, adults, we can learn something from this too. Okay, what else are we looking at today?
This is called the Incredible Power Flour, and so
Power flour?
Yeah,
Power
so imagine an entree that it includes grilled vegetables and fruits. So most people don't realize you can grill produce. When you do so, it makes it a little bit sweeter and tastes great too. So you can actually grill cauliflower. You can cut it into steaks and grill it. Grilled Dole pineapple, and then we just place it onto a bed of coleslaw. Dole makes a line of really convenient seasoned coleslaw kits called Slossums.
Yeah, and they are awesome, and you can add your own additional ingredients to them too, and really kick them up if you want.
Yep. So you just put it on the grill for a few minutes, and then lay it on top of the Slossum kit bed, and it tastes great. And it's a real simple, fun, and a great visual too. So if you're having like a Labor Day barbecue, something with friends and family, that's something.
And it's fresh too.
It is.
When you do it yourself, it's fresh.
Indeed. Yeah.
And I love how you said if you do grill something, it brings out the natural sweeteners that are in the product. So this probably, if you're like, I don't want to eat cauliflower, grilling brings out a completely different flavor
makes
in
it
that
taste
vegetable.
different.
Yeah, and it's absolutely delicious. So something to check out. And I always forget about grilling pineapple. It is so good.
Makes it sweet. It's
right.
delicious. Yeah. So all these recipes are on dole.com/Disney. If anyone wants to find them, there's dozens more that are amazing, just like these. We also have here, this is the Berry Brave Incredibowl.
I like it.
Yeah, so it's a real simple, sweet and salty with a peanut butter base with some berries mixed in. You blend it all together, add some berries on top. Real simple, something that the kids would ask for. That tastes sweet and tastes delicious.
So that could be a breakfast. That could be a dessert.
It sure
could be
could.
anything.
Yeah, it could be a late night snack even.
Right.
Amazing. And I love that all these are very simple and easy. So you can possibly cook them with your kids in the kitchen, or something you can whip up really fast. If it's like, hey, wait a minute, we need to get our fruits and vegetables
We
in.
try to keep it a few ingredients or less,
Okay, so let's talk about something that we're all pretty familiar with in the morning, or if we're on the go, is a quick drink or a smoothie.
A smoothie. So this is, like I said, real simple, only 4 ingredients. This is Greek yogurt base mixed with some Dole pineapple, bananas, a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon. That's it. Real simple. So here, I'll blend it together.
Takes a while to get going. There we go.
The magic sign that it's ready to go.
We like our smoothies chunky. Okay.
As a part of this campaign, Dole's also partnering with.
Smells good.
Dole's partnering with a group called Action for Healthy Kids. They're a nationwide organization that are all about getting schools and school kids to eat healthier. So they have a lot of programs and everything. They're all designed about health and nutrition. And on dole.com/Disney, if you upload a healthy family photo, Dole will donate $2 for each photo.
Oh, they will?
To Action for Healthy Kids, to help their mission of, their heroic mission, I would say, of getting kids to eat healthier.
As we're powering the hero within, getting fruits and vegetables into our diet.
So we would just take a picture of us drinking this.
Sure, you sure, absolutely.
And they donate $2.
And Dole will donate $2, or go on Dole's Facebook page and.
Okay, I'm going to take a picture of us drinking this here.
Remind us that again, the website we need to go to so we can make this happen.
Everything you need is on dole.com/Disney. You'll find all the recipes and links to Dole's Facebook page and place to upload all the photos and more about Action for Healthy Kids.
Okay, take selfie time. Here we go. Take a drink, Jackie.
I love.
We're gonna send that to you.
I love the spices that are in there. Like,
that is really good.
Maybe you've made a banana smoothie before using Dole products, but you haven't thought about little things that you can do to just kind of amp it up to the next level.
A little bit of cinnamon goes a long way. It gives it a little extra kick and brings out the flavor.
That is awesome.
Absolutely.
So again, very simple too, and it just took a while for it to get going. Once it got going, boom, it just liquified.
Took minutes.
That's awesome.
If that.
What a great idea. But again, don't forget to grill your vegetables and your fruits, of course. If you haven't tried it, really is highly suggested, isn't it?
Yep, indeed. Tastes amazing. So.
There's, and then breakfast idea. What do you call the one on the toast?
It's actually called Snack Attack. There's a character in Incredibles called Jack. So
okay, so that's Snack. Okay.
And he's my favorite. Perfect.
And then what's the slaw one?
This is the Incredible Power Flour.
Power Flour.
This is the Berry Brave Incredibowl.
Okay, hang on. Slow down there. There's the Incredibowl. Okay.
And this is the Orange Super Smoothie.
So good. All right, so go to the website. Remember, if you upload a photo, you could be given back so that we can continue to make kids healthy all across our great nation. Always great to see you. Come and see us again.
Thank you so much, man. Good to see you. All right, we'll be right back, folks. Again, Dole powering the hero within right here on CW Iowa Live. This is awesome. I feel stronger already. We'll be right back.
Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is CW Iowa Live.
Well, if you're a Chicago Cubs fan, you are going to remember this because this was a huge deal, folks. Back in 1988, the Cubs played their first night game, or tried to play their first night game against the Phillies. It was rained out in the fourth inning. Cubs were ahead 3-1 at the time, but posters were produced of the first night game with the lights first coming on. Again, an amazing sight to behold at Wrigley Field back on this day in 1988. Good morning, everyone. It is 9:33. Welcome back to CW Iowa Live.
And speaking of sports, a lot of people are already getting amped up as many high schoolers are already in training, getting ready. Preseason games are going to be kicking off this weekend already, believe it or not. A lot of excitement going on, but that's also an opportunity for barriers to be broken, especially for females, either on the field or on the sidelines. Take a look at this very special story.
Go! Hannon High School, less than 200 students.
Minute and a half, Andrew.
The Friday night limelight isn't familiar to the Wildcats, who only won 2 games last season.
I think we're going to do well. I think we'll surprise some people.
But the team is already surprising people, and they haven't played a single game. They did name a new head coach, though.
Doesn't matter if man or woman coaching, it's football's football.
Kelly Thomas is, by all accounts, the first female high school football coach in West Virginia.
I know the game. I've got 3 older brothers that played at Point. I've been around football all my life.
No one can question Thomas's resume that could go 40 yards, including working with Marshall as a trainer.
I love the game. I love to watch it, love to play it, and being out here with these guys has been a great opportunity for me.
Kelly Thompson is turning heads here in West Virginia, but she's only interested in what's happening on the field.
Don't drink a whole lot, you'll be puking it up. A lot of these boys are going to be playing both sides of the ball, so they have to be in shape. So we're running every day, and even before practice and during practice and after practice we run.
If anybody slows down before you pass me, we're going to keep going. We'll go 100. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. The way that she's been working us, I mean, she's been out here ever since school ended, just getting us in condition, doing a bunch of drills with us.
Hannon's numbers have always been low, but Coach Thomas isn't concerned with adjusting her playbook.
I told these guys I would never quit on them. I would never stop coaching no matter what the score is. It's from start to finish, and they said we won't quit on you either.
Thomas wasn't trying to break down barriers, but her presence is a win for women in the sport, and it could also result to a win on the field for the Wildcats.
Goal line, yep, goal line.
That is cool, and I would like to play for a coach like that. It's that passionate about sport.
Absolutely.
No question about it. Well, there's somebody else that is very passionate about doing something, and he happens to be a little boy in North Carolina. He has a bunch of different things he does because he has a vision. He has another business he'd like to start involving a purchase, so he sells things like lemonade and things like that to raise money. Well, his lemonade stand was recently held up at gunpoint, believe it or not, and it looks like a home improvement store in the area is going to come to his rescue to help make his dream come true. Take a look.
I have several jobs. I'm a organic lemonade stand operator, designer, dog walker, reptile caregiver, lawnmower, professional ring bearer.
9-year-old Mark David is quite the entrepreneur. He's been selling lemonade in his Monroe neighborhood for months to save money for a riding lawnmower to grow his business cutting grass in the neighborhood. As Channel 9 first reported yesterday, a teen robbed the little boy of the $17 he'd earned.
I opened the box to him. He grabbed it, pushed the gun at me, and ran away. It was like my heart was beating out of my chest.
His mom always stays on video chat with him when he's selling lemonade and overheard what happened.
It's really terrifying, and every parent can relate to that. Even if it's not your own child, your heart hurts and bleeds for that.
After seeing our report about the unthinkable crime, Lowe's wanted to help the little boy. Mark gave these Lowe's employees a friendly wave before realizing they were stopping at his house.
It's Chris Beatty.
My name's Mark.
I'm Stormy. I'll tell you what, man, you're a tough kid. I hear about what happened.
The store gave Mark this brand new pony model of the Troy-built riding mower valued at $1,200.
It's pretty cool with what you're wanting to do at such a young age, and
Mark plans to expand his business tomorrow. He didn't let the Lowe's employees leave empty-handed.
Awesome lemonade. Thank you very much.
Well, kid didn't waste any time expanding his business tomorrow. That works.
Good for him. All right, so we had Make-A-Wish Iowa in studio this week doing some incredible things, talking about a very successful year, already talking about Jolly Holiday Lights and how you can get involved. But let's talk about another state and how they were able to grant a wonderful wish. Take a look.
Welcome to Little Fenway.
I don't think that they'd give me Fenway. I thought they'd give me a baseball field.
I'm still absolutely amazed that it happened.
The backyard transformation in Windsor was a dream come true for 12-year-old Thomas Hastings.
I like being able to play baseball and be out there and just play around.
The muscle behind the magic?
It started with a small wish, and then you show up one day and there's a green monster.
Make-A-Wish Connecticut volunteer Paula Musgrave.
When we think back to how this wish all started, it was the night that Paula came into our house.
Each wish granted by the nonprofit has a volunteer hammering out all of the logistics, from the idea to the design and completion.
Throughout the whole wish process, every time you meet these kids, you're reminded of their strength and their resiliency, and it just keeps you grounded.
Paula's led the charge for roughly 75 wishes over the last 19 years.
I would say that it's changed me for 20 years, and that anything that happens in my life, I have a pity party for maybe 30 seconds, and then I think of my wish kids and their families, and you move on. And everything is small compared to what these kids and their families go through.
Families like the Hastings, who want Paula to know exactly how they feel.
Thank you for making the baseball field.
I hope she has just a little bit of an understanding, even if it's just 1%, of the way she's impacted so many lives. Because if she realizes just 1% of it, she's done an amazing job.
That is an amazing creation, isn't it?
That's incredible. And it's something that you can do for kids in our area that have similar wishes, or whether it's to have Fenway Park in their backyard or go on a trip. You can help that make a reality by donating to Make-A-Wish Iowa.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the more unique wishes that are ever granted. That's probably the most unique one I've seen for a long time.
That's a great one.
There it is. It's 9:40 right now. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. This is CW Iowa Live. Is Candace out this week? Okay. Did I add a vo or is that a sot? The one I added should be a sot. That's the one that said National Night Out 2. National Night Out 2 should be instead of National Night Out. It's the same cut, but it's cleaned up.
I think it's been great. We made a lot of improvements, a lot of people. The weather held out, so we're excited.
Yeah, it doesn't have me ask the question. Okay, that's the where that's the cut I want to use. The second. Okay. Yeah, I want those pictures though. Is that cool? Or okay, of the dog. Yeah, don't there. Use the other one. We'll do. And it's in the right order too. It's in the right order.
Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everyone. It is 9:42 right now. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here.
Good morning.
Hopefully your Wednesday is going well. So many things are going on in central Iowa, and we try to stay on top of as many as we can. And last night was a huge night for law enforcement folks all over the metro. It was National Night Out. And I just have a couple of pictures here to show you the parking lot in the school next to where this event was being held in the Altoona area. This is Clay Elementary, which is right next to the church down there on First, south of where the Hy-Vee is located. There were so many cars that were parked there. They had shuttles with golf carts that were taking people from their parking spot all the way over to where the event was. And once you got to the event, it was just jam-packed with people. That was right smack dab in the middle of the parking lot at the Christian church that was down there. But thanks to them, too, for offering up their facility for this. But let's take a peek around there and show you what it looks like. The police cars were greeting you as you walked from the parking lot over to where the event was. And the flashing sign out front mentioned there was a petting zoo. So we had to go check out the petting zoo, and that was the first thing that you saw when you walked in. That was Pumpkin, the little miniature horse that was there. People had a great time petting Pumpkin when they came in. There was a little tiny steer and goats and sheep, you name it. It was over there in the petting zoo. But seemingly almost every Altoona police officer was in the area or made an appearance there. The dunk tank was there. You know, the kids were going to be there, so the superheroes had to be there. All types of food was available. Face painting for the kids. A place for creating crafts, for building things. Even train rides. Look at that. And great music. They had a DJ that was cranking out the tunes. Inflatables, gigantic inflatables. Scouts were there. They said hi. But what a simply awesome turnout it was. A lot bigger than we ever expected. I want to thank Chance Patrick for giving us a call and reminding us. He was out there too. He said to say hi as well. He's looking forward to being at the state fair as well. But we had a chance to talk to Officer Melanie Tufts, to the Chief of Police in Altoona, and Alyssa Wilson, and get their comments on how they thought the evening went.
I think it's been great. We made a lot of improvements, a lot of people. The weather held out, so we're excited.
Yeah, Chief Greg Stallman is here too. Greg, again, what an impressive run. Look at all the bodies that are around here. We're all the way parked through the back parking lot. Is this what you expected?
We did expect a large crowd. Probably not as good as it's going, but we did expect a large crowd. Great community event, and happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, so Wilson, you've been busy all night long?
We have been. Giving out hugs,
What's the most fun you've had?
Just seeing the faces. You get to meet new friends, and you get to see the old ones that you haven't seen for a while.
And look at this, she has her camera, so obviously you took a lot of pictures too. Now, where can people see these pictures?
Check out our Facebook, Altoona PD Iowa. Give love to the other Altoonas though, and the Twitter and Instagram pages.
There you go. But I think National Night Out, Altoona style, definitely a success. Thumbs up, everybody.
Thanks, Lou.
The smiles from everybody that was there. And check this out. I didn't realize that Altoona had a police dog. Yeah, you know, other officers and other units have like German Shepherds and dogs like that and labs, but not Altoona. Check this out, folks. The canine unit is compiled of one dog, and this is it. What a cutie patootie. This dog has a really, intimidating name as well. Say hello to Katie, the police dog in Altoona. That was really a neat thing they did, and that happened all over the metro. So to all the police departments, they had a chance to go out and meet and visit with the people in your community. You guys and gals do a great job. We thank you for your service. All right, time to take a look at another story people might be talking about. You know, Fiona the hippo, a big deal. We all realize that, but did you realize Fiona is an author again? Actually had a book written about Fiona. The Cincinnati Zoo's beloved and adorable Fiona is back in the limelight. A new children's book entitled Fiona the Hippo came out Tuesday, so you have a chance to pick that up. It's by New York Times best-selling artist Richard Cowdery. It tells the story of Fiona, an internet sensation who was born prematurely, but managed to survive and become a healthy hippo. Again, amazing story of that little creature. Now, speaking of animals, stay in the animal realm here as researchers are studying a rare giant bat, a very agile hunter. Now, this gigantic bat catches birds in flight and has a wingspan. Think about bat with a wingspan of 18 inches across. It is Europe's largest bat, but perhaps the least studied. Scientists have traveled to the remote area of a Zadazan reserve to try to find this bat, and they have located it, and they have placed some tracking devices on it. They use some nets in trees to capture the bats. Back in 2015, it was seen for the first time in this area since the 1930s. Well, it looks like they have captured another one and have another one that has been tagged, and tissue samples were even collected from its wings so they can learn more about this bat. But think about a bat that is 18 inches across wingspan, Jackie.
It's big.
That's about that big. There's a bat. Think about next time you see a bat like that. Now, folks, time to talk about something that is really unusual. How about a human slingshot in New Zealand? Wait till you guys get a load of this. You've done some thrill rides. You've been launched from the different rides at the fair. But how would you like to catapult 500 feet in a matter of seconds? That's one of New Zealand's newest attractions and offers tourists and thrill seekers the opportunity to do just that. You become a human slingshot. Now, the Nevis catapult pushes riders straight in one direction before dropping nearly 500 feet. For those brave enough to strap in and experience it, they can reach speeds upwards of 60 miles an hour in a fraction of a second. It seems like your head will snap back, but look at the jubilation on their faces. But you've done some unusual things. Maybe you haven't done that. Maybe you haven't been scared on rides. This one, they say, will scare you. It scares me just watching the video of that guy. Oh my goodness, like jumping out of the stratosphere. Probably.
Kind of like a base jumping or whatnot,
yeah,
but a little bit higher up so you don't feel so close to the ground like people do off bridges and things like that.
There you go. Well, folks, there's a story making the rounds. We caught wind of this yesterday when a lady was in line waiting to pay for some coffee at a gas station, and the person in front of her was having a hard time getting their card to work in the machine. And so she decided that she was going to pay it forward. She decided to do this a while back, once a week, do something really nice. So she decided to pay it forward and pay for the dude's coffee in front of her in line. Wait till you see who it was.
We decided when we saw military people, we would treat them at Wawa or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever.
Ruth Reed and her husband have made it a habit to pick up people's tabs at Wawa. A few years ago, she made a New Year's resolution to do it weekly. So this past Friday, when she saw a customer in front of her at the Wawa on Route 541 in Medford having an issue at the register, she jumped at the opportunity to help.
It looked like he was using a card and it didn't go through, and then he asked a young lady for $5, and I thought, this is it. No, I'll get it.
But as she was paying, she kept thinking, this guy looks familiar.
And I go out, what's your name, Ruth? And he said, Ruth, I'm Keith. And I said, oh, that's who you look like, Keith Urban. Do people ever tell you you look like Keith Urban? And he said, I am Keith Urban. I said, no, you're not, really.
Reed admits she took some convincing.
And I said, really? Really? Then where's Nicole? And who was that woman you were with? And snippy, not nice. And so
you got snippy with Keith Urban.
Yes, and then he said, it's my sister, we can ask her. I said, okay, I don't think she would lie to some old lady.
Then Reed noticed Urban's bodyguards and realized she really had just paid for Keith Urban.
And I just fell apart. And he was gracious.
Reed says Urban stuck $5 in the donation box at the register and happily took this picture with her.
And he really could have said, lady, get away from me. And he didn't. He was very kind.
Now, Reed, who is very shy, has been getting a lot of attention over her interaction with Keith Urban, and she only agreed to do an interview with us on one condition, that we tell others about the importance of doing acts of kindness.
There you go. See, and that was, didn't quite understand part of that story a little bit ago. It said he took $5 and put it in the donation box because he turned to his sister to ask for money, but in the meantime, this lady paid for his drink. So that's where that $5 came from. So instead of just taking it back, he put it in a donation box. So good job out of him for doing that. Yeah. There you have it, folks. There's your totally serious news. It is 9:51 right now. We'll take care of a little bit of business, and when we come back, Jackie's going to tell you all the great things going on today. How about some free frozen yogurt coming up later on, actually in about an hour, a little more than an hour. You want to find out where it is, and we're going to be scooping some too. We'll tell you that next on CW Iowa Live.
Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is CW Iowa Live.
Good morning, everybody. Let's talk about some great things that are happening on this Wednesday, August 8th. A couple reasons to head downtown. One is because, as we talked about here on the program earlier with Moose Tracks Ice Cream, there's going to be free frozen yogurt. Now, this is a social happening at Coles Commons starting at 11, going until 3, and it's raising money for Salvation Army. You don't have to do anything but show up and eat. That's all. And for every scoop that is dished out, $1 is going back to Salvation Army. So let's get it up to 10,000. Lou and I will be there from noon to 1. We hope you stop on by for a great cause and a delicious treat. Of course, Iowa State Fair starts tomorrow, so that means the parade is happening tonight downtown Des Moines starting at 6:15. So be prepared for various closures downtown hours beforehand as they get ready for that big festivity and tradition we have in our community. Of course, it's Wednesday, so Lou and I will be out at the Blank Park Zoo for Zoo Brew. Theme tonight is Lions and Loggers, so that means we'll be hanging out next to the brand new Pride and taking photos. We hope you take photos as well. Hashtag CW Iowa 23 so we can see those photos on our social media and then share them with everybody tomorrow morning. Normal zoo hours close at 5, reopen at 5:30. Remember, that is a 21 and older event. More details on great things happening can be found on our website, weareiowa.com. It's also where you can learn more about us in case you missed anything today. Just make sure you're clicking on that CW Iowa Live tab.
So obviously, by Jackie just told you, a lot of different events going on over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks and a half or so. But how's the forecast? Let's find out from Taylor Knust.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Some of us had to deal with a little bit of fog earlier this morning, but that seems to be clearing out, and it's full sunshine ahead for the rest of your Wednesday. Future Tracker does not show a whole lot going on in Iowa today, other than maybe a couple of showers near Creston later this afternoon. Odds are Des Moines is going to stay dry for your Wednesday, and it's going to be a little warmer with that additional sunshine. Highs today in the mid and upper 80s across the state. Now, fast forward to tomorrow, it's going to be even hotter. We're looking at 90s by tomorrow afternoon. Heat index values in the mid 90s, so drink plenty of water, grab plenty of AC when you're heading out to the fair tomorrow. Otherwise, dry for most of the day. There will be a slight chance for some storms late afternoon, early evening here around the metro, so keep that in mind if you'll be out at the fair around that time. The rest of the week is looking dry. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all sunny with highs in the upper 80s, so looking pretty nice at that point. We will have more chances for rain during the middle of next week, and temperatures will be kind of hovering around that 90-degree mark for the extended forecast.
There you go. All right, time to take a look and see who is celebrating birthdays here today on the 8th day of August. The lady who used to be the Stephanie Engelson of Chicago television station, the NBC affiliate, Deborah Norville. That's where she started, but obviously now on Inside Edition, she turns 60 years old today. Ralph Melf, Donnie Most, is 65 years old today. John Baker from Chips is 71, and Dustin Hoffman celebrates a birthday today. He's 81 years old, Jackie.
Sounds good.
All right, here is what you can celebrate today as well. Cat Day is today, so get out and say hi, pet your cat an extra time. Dollar Day is today. Sneak some zucchini onto your neighbor's porch day if you have some extras, and Frozen Custard Day is today as well.
Well, we all know tomorrow is the official first day of the fair, so we will be live out there as well as all of our classic Thursday segments. So don't miss a moment. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow morning on CW Iowa Live, we're going to have a highlight reel of some of the things we had a chance to do, how the frozen yogurt scooping went, and what Zoo Brew was all about last night. Sorry. Tomorrow morning on CW Iowa Live, a highlight reel with how the 10,000 scoop frozen yogurt event went and how Zoo Brew was last night.
Of course, Thursday is the first day of the Great Iowa State Fair. We're going to be there live before the gates even officially open, bringing you the sights, smells, and sounds. Don't miss a moment starting at 7 tomorrow morning. Right at 7 a.m., we're going to be going live at the Great Iowa State Fair. Plus, talk about all the other great things you can catch in Des Moines. Don't miss a moment on CW Iowa Live. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Jackie Schmelin here with CW Iowa Live, talking about some hot topics from today. Of course, everybody's getting ready for the Great Iowa State Fair that officially starts tomorrow. And one way you can get there is by using the DART bus system. But there's going to be a little bit of a change. Now, all DART buses will drop you off and pick you up at Gate 10 on the State Fairgrounds. Service starts at 8:30 in the morning and goes through midnight every day of the fair. Also, another means of transportation, bicycling. Well, it's been approved that the underground tunnel bike path on Fleur Drive has the green light from the Des Moines City Council. So the bike path would connect riders and walkers from Grays Lake to Des Moines Waterworks. Thankfully, it won't cost Des Moines taxpayers anything, and construction should start next year. Of course, it's Wednesday, so Lou and I will be at Zoo Brew later on tonight with the theme Lions and Loggers. It's going to be featuring the band The Sheet, and we always encourage you to capture your wild side, take a photo, Tag CW Iowa 23. You might just see it live on air tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
You need to start talking locally to the people in your state. You know, if you're concerned about it, you know, because the bottom line is we know that if a woman wants an abortion, she will find a way to get one. That's just the way it is, and that's why all of this. Well, that's why all of this came about in the first place. Let's remember that first of all.
But it's not just that. It's also gay rights. It's the ACA.
Well, y'all were talking about abortion rights, and so that's where I came from. But I believe that if he does what most Supreme Court judges should do, with the exception of Anton Scalia, in my opinion, and he votes what is correct for the country and not voting his particular religion or his particular beliefs, then I'm willing to listen and accept it. That's what
He
what I think we're supposed to do.
too. He said, you know, I will honor precedent.
Well, he did that when he was a D.C. Circuit judge, though. Being on the Supreme Court is definitely different because you are interpreting the law, right? So that's very different. But I do tend to agree with you, Whoopi, on that in terms of what the states will do. I agree with Jeff Toobin, my friend, who basically said, listen, we're going to see at least 20 or 22 states challenge abortion. And we're going to see, I think, those challenges, maybe they'll outlaw abortion, maybe they'll limit abortion, and then we're going to see those challenges go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, no question, has swung to the right. It's much more conservative. But if you believe in the judicial system, as I do, if you believe in the law, as I do, and if you believe in the Constitution and precedent, I do think that you can't sort of yell fire at this point.
No, but we believe in balance of power and checks and balances, and we haven't got that in any of the three branches of government
because
right now, and it's going to be even worse when this guy comes in.
But this implication, I think, from people on the left, like last night, Shannon Bream, who's a host on Fox News, wasn't comfortable doing her broadcast outside with all the protesters, and there are people with signs with blank spaces saying, "We hate blank," just waiting to fill in whoever it is. And I think the left does themselves a disservice when you're not even looking at the person presented in front of you, and you've already made the decision. That's not happening on this show, but I'm just saying there are people outside doing it. But
the left is taking a page from Mitch McConnell's book.
But what I want to say is that the idea, and you've said this before, that like, this is like a stolen experience. This is what elections have consequences. And yes, Republicans have 3 branches of power. Now we're getting 2 more seats in the Supreme Court. But it's why voting is so important. But the idea that we're living in like some, I don't know, totalitarian fascist country where this was just appointed by a dictator, it's just a lie. And I think we have to be intellectually honest about that.
Well, he's under investigation. We're going to have Alan Dershowitz on today. And I'd like to ask him about that. Why would a president who's under investigation by the FBI for obstruction of justice and collusion be allowed to pick a Supreme Court justice who will be there? I'll be dead. There are many people in this room who will still be alive and need abortions and what have you, need health care. How dare he be allowed to do this when he is under investigation?
I second what Whoopi said about the importance of voting, because right now you see that a shift of fewer than 80,000 votes in 3 states led to a generation of this justice and their oversight. So it's really important that people remember we still have less than 50% of the American public turns out for voting.
Voting is, voting is everything. You know, you don't like what's happening,
but
you can stand outside and scream and yell all you want to, but it's not going to shift anything until you put your foot in the voting booth and take responsibility for what's happening. This is on us. We'll be back. We'll be right back.
Later, crashing the Batchie. Why Bachelor Nation was ready to revolt against President Trump last night. Get your daily dose of girl power.
I dream big, and when you dream big,
you have to be fearless in your dream.
That's right.
Talking about sisterhood, the importance of women supporting other women, which is something you guys get.
Thank you for being such an inspiration to me.
That's right. We're serving up View Strong all day long.
Oh, yeah.
We're The View on ABC.
People with type 2 diabetes are excited about the potential of once-weekly Ozempic. In a study with Ozempic, a majority of adults lowered their blood sugar and reached an A1C of less than 7 and maintained it.
Oh, under 7?
And you may lose weight. In the same one-year study, adults lost on average up to 12 pounds.
Oh, up to 12 pounds?
A 2-year study showed that Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
Oh, no increased risk?
Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase the risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
I discovered the potential with Ozempic.
Ask your healthcare provider if Ozempic is right for you.
Combine the right things, and something amazing happens. That's our inspiration for Fancy Feast medleys. Wild salmon primavera tastes amazing. Also in pate, Fancy Feast medleys.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and I wish I could tell you how I feel about a morning like this. And that includes a good hearty breakfast. You need something to kind of warm the whole body up and get it going. It's a great way to kick off your day.
I always thought that cigarette smoking just messed up your lungs. I never thought that at only 45 would give me a heart attack. My tip is, do your heart a favor and quit now.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
I got the deal of a lifetime on Poshmark. I got these barely worn Louboutin heels, and I paid $100 for them. I would have paid over $700 for these in the store.
Get $5 off your first order. Download the free Poshmark app now and use offer code LOVEPOSH.
Stars perform their newest hits. Carrie Underwood, Blake Shelton, Dierks Bentley, Florida Georgia Line, Sam Hunt, Luke Bryan, and one-of-a-kind rockin' duets. Thomas Rhett and Kelsey Ballerini host. Let's get this started! CMA Fest, tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Still ahead, Hot Topics are going nuclear.
Not all right. Come on.
Didn't see that one coming.
When attorney Alan Dershowitz makes his case against impeaching Trump, and Sunny's summer reading list on the Ladies Get Lit.
Well, as it turns out, the Democrats weren't the only uptight people last night as to what was going on, because fans of The Bachelorette lost their minds because they felt, why is he interrupting the damn Bachelorette to give us this piece of information? People were very, very upset.
Oh, yeah.
And then Becca was talking to Colton, and he totally dropped a bomb on her because, you know, I can't even tell you, look.
I told you earlier I put my professional life in front of my personal life.
Yeah.
And because of that, I am a virgin.
Really?
Yeah. It was tough. You know, I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. My dad knows.
Can you excuse me for 1 second?
What did she say?
So what did she...
Excuse me.
So, what is she gonna do, you think? Do you think she sold herself up? I mean, what the hell?
I think she gave him the rose.
Apparently this was a shock. He's 26 years old, and people were, I guess, quite surprised.
I want to know why. I mean, he said it was because he was putting.
You want to know why what?
Why he remained a virgin? Like
maybe
if
he had a mom like you.
Very true. Which I would deeply respect that choice.
I want to say this because you may think I'm being rude. I'm not.
You're not picking on me?
Oh, no, you'll know when I'm picking on you.
Yeah.
But you believe, and you've taught your children...
Abstinence. And I'm Catholic, and so that's a faithful thing. So that's what I want to know about Colton. Is it a faith-based decision?
No, it doesn't matter.
He said it wasn't. He said it was because he put his NFL football career first. I'm like, look, I went to Notre Dame. The NFL, the future NFL, they get it in. Yeah. And they're like, all the women are so...
Well, but don't say that, because if you say you went there and say all the women, then people are looking at you going, uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gotta tell you, not me, but I saw, like, they are surrounded by women.
I could understand if it was a faith decision or, you know, raised to be abstinent. He did say he put his profession first, and I just feel like if you say you didn't get around to it...
As a football player?
I don't know. It makes me sad. This is so weird. Like, her reaction
that it's so weird too.
Seemed so exaggerated. She was like, oh my God. I was watching an Instagram story this morning of a girl with no job, and she was like, what, you're mad he's a nice boy and he's not going to give you some, you know, STD? And I'm like, this poor man, he's just decided not to have sex for whatever reason. I don't think it's that weird. I know people who have waited a long time for non-religious reasons, for different reasons. And I think it's more socially acceptable to be incredibly promiscuous than it is to be a virgin right now, which I think says a lot about culture.
I just need him to have tried it once.
Less than 5% of people between the ages of 24 and 26 are virgins. So we're talking, it is a rarity.
Can I just say,
they're like unicorns.
Can I just give my opinion here? Because I really think you can spin this very positively. The guy think of him as a trainee. Okay? You train him to do it the correct way, and you have him for the rest of your life doing it the right way.
Now, how do you think I wonder how he feels.
I was about to say something really bad that Steve wouldn't like, and I was like, Joy Behar might be up for this job.
Sometimes an older woman will train you to do it correctly.
But here's my question. Did she screw herself because maybe he doesn't want somebody who's used? We'll be right back.
Why does attorney Alan Dershowitz say the president's right about the Russia investigation being a witch hunt, and Trump has absolute power to fire Robert Mueller? Get ready for the sparks to fly in Hot Topics next.
And now, some advice to our guests coming to The View.
When you step onto this stage, face these ladies, oh, you better be ready to roll, cause it is so on. That's right, The View is everything.
Bam, drop the mic.
Taking on the hottest topics.
It's making me very hot.
Bada bing, bada boom, whatever.
Wait, there's more.
Hashtag crazy. The View is everything on ABC.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some very important information regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. We've told you about HARP in the past, and we're happy to report that nearly 3.5 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this fantastic money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. Quicken Loans is here to help you save your money. Why Quicken Loans? The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. We'll work with you to understand your specific circumstances and strive to find the financial solution that's best for you. Then we'll guide you through each step of the mortgage refinance process to make sure that it's both simple and easy. And for 8 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. If you're not familiar with HARP, it's a U.S. government program designed specifically for homeowners who have little or no equity. A great feature of the HARP program is that most HARP refinance loans do not require an appraisal, and there are fewer income verification requirements. That makes it simpler, easier, and even faster. And even if you've been denied for a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that you now may be eligible. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. And we'll do all we can to help you save money on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. Find out if you're eligible to take advantage of today's incredibly low interest rates and start saving money every month on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans today or go to quickenloans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Sheba perfect portions. What cats want.
Hey kiddo, see any stars out there?
Not really.
Grab your jacket.
And try Oreo chocolate candy bars.
John killed himself. I had no idea that he was depressed. Did you? Did you? You are stronger than all of us combined. I got you. Come on.
How could I not see it or hear from you?
As bad as this seems, there is good, and you will find it.
Dershowitz has made a career out of representing some notorious, controversial folks in America, from Klaus von Bülow to O.J. Simpson. He's keeping up the tradition in his new book, The Case Against Impeaching You-Know-Who. Please welcome Alan Dershowitz. Hey, welcome. So last night... So last night, the current president announced his pick to replace Justice Kennedy on the Supreme Court. You're a Democrat. Did it concern you? Did you think it's what was your what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I am such a big fan of every single one of you. I've been so thrilled to be on the show. I've been waiting to get hard questions. I know you're an expert in hard questions, and you're a great lawyer, and so I'm really ready to mix it up with you guys.
We've worked together before. He was one of my guests on a CNN show.
Right, and then we've done some things together. So great. I feel like I'm at home. Okay. Now, be tough on me. Okay.
So what do you think?
Look, I wouldn't have nominated Kavanaugh. It wouldn't have been my choice.
Why?
I'm a liberal Democrat. I would love to see Akhil Amar, the guy who wrote the piece in the New York Times today, a professor at Yale. He would have been great. I can give you a list of 100 people. But the Republicans, I think they won. They lost the popular vote, but they won the electoral vote. So, and they stole the first nomination to the Supreme Court. Absolute theft, unconstitutional. And I have to tell you, I'm a little critical of President Obama, for whom I voted. He should have nominated Merrick Garland and should have sworn him in and should have dared the Republicans to say, kick him out of office.
We agree with that.
Because they have no right not to decide a case. The Constitution says advice and consent. It doesn't say delay and postpone.
Well, then how come Mitch McConnell's not in jail? That's what I want to know.
Well, you want to put everybody in jail. I know. Look, I'm against putting people in jail unless they've actually committed crimes. I know that's a radical position.
Maybe you should have sat by someone else.
But look, Kavanaugh may be on that list. He may be the best. Democrats will say least worst. He is a more traditional conservative. I think he believes in precedent. I think he will apply the law. I remember he was a Justice Kennedy law clerk. He was, he graduated Yale Law School, taught at Harvard. Nothing wrong with that. That's what I did. So I want to hear the questions. I want to hear the answers. But I'm not going to go along with Liz Warren, my friend and colleague, who says we're going to oppose everybody. That would, I hate the way justices get confirmed these days. It's so political. I wish we could go back to the days when justices got confirmed 99-1, and then we waited to see, and many of them switched. Many of them who were appointed as liberals, like Felix Frankfurter, became a conservative. Earl Warren became a liberal.
But those days are gone, Alan.
They may be gone. They may be gone, and it's largely because of the way the confirmation process
And why
is
should
operated.
Democrats play hardball?
They should play hardball. They should play hardball. They should.
Why should we always be the snowflakes?
But what about this? Professor Dershowitz, and a lot of folks are talking about this. Back in 2009, Kavanaugh wrote, I think, a law review article, and he said that Congress should pass a law exempting a president while in office from criminal prosecution and investigation, including from questioning by criminal prosecutors or defense counsel. Considering that is a distinct possibility for this president, is that something that would disqualify Kavanaugh, do you think?
Well, he might have to recuse himself based on what he has previously written. Justice Kagan has had to recuse himself from a few cases, but that doesn't mean he's going to serve for 40 years. So if he has to recuse himself for a few cases, that won't be a big deal. Look, I disagree with Kavanaugh. He also said that a president could be impeached for engaging in dastardly conduct. That's a great legal criteria. How many people here have engaged in dastardly conduct over their lifetime?
But unbecoming conduct is covered.
No, I don't believe that.
In terms of high crimes and misdemeanors.
I don't believe that.
I know you don't. I read your book, but I think you're wrong.
In my book, The Case Against Impeaching Trump, I argued it has to be an actual crime. Either bribery, treason, or a high crime, or of course obstruction. And that's why Nixon would have been impeached. That's why Clinton was impeached. They both were charged with real obstruction, tampering with witnesses, lying.
Unbecoming conduct is listed.
Unbecoming conduct?
It's listed.
Would you want your life to be judged by unbecoming conduct? Unbecoming what?
It's listed.
It's not listed. It's not in the Constitution.
That you're listing, the emoluments, all of that. Don't you have to start an investigation to see if a crime has been committed.
Sure. Yes. And there are two
people. So you must be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Because nobody is above the law. Not
Nobody's
the president,
above the law.
Nobody.
But remember that senators can't be arrested for what they do on the floor of the Senate. Congressmen can't be.
On the floor of the Senate,
Judges
but outside.
can't be, or on the way to the Senate. It's a very strange provision of the Constitution. But none of these people are above the law because that is the law. And I don't believe a president can obstruct justice by merely exercising his constitutional authority to fire somebody. What the other presidents who've been impeached, they violated the actual law. They either lied under oath, or they told witnesses to lie, or they destroyed evidence, or they paid hush money.
Because of an investigation.
There should be an investigation, and there are two bodies that should investigate. One, Congress can investigate for impeachment, and second, the U.S. Attorney's offices all over the country. These are wonderful civil servants who have been prosecuting people for 20 years. Why do we need a special counsel? There's nothing special.
The Democratic group did nothing. I mean, the House group.
I don't. Oh no, I don't.
Did nothing with
believe
Nunes
me,
in charge. That went nowhere.
What I argued for from day one was a nonpartisan expert commission like 9/11 that could get us all the facts and say to the Russians, never again, because they did interfere with this election.
Why doesn't this
I have no doubt about that.
Say it again really loud.
They did interfere with this election, and they're going to interfere with our next election if we don't stop.
Mr. Dershowitz, you're saying I was under the impression you were a Trump supporter of some kind.
No, no.
Well, you have been. You just wrote a whole article about how you're being ostracized in Martha's Vineyard because of your support of President Trump, and you voted for Hillary Clinton. So I'm a little confused.
You should be confused. Let me tell you.
Why are you being ostracized in your social circles if you're not supporting President Trump? But if you're saying all these things about how he's horrible and the election was intervened and all this stuff, why are you even remotely support him? Because you're certainly not a Joy Behar.
So when I was in college, they tried to fire some of my teachers who were communists. I went to Brooklyn College. I hated communists. I defended them. I defended the rights of Nazis to march through Skokie. I defended O.J. Simpson. I defended Klaus von Bülow. I'm not complicit with any of these people. I don't support them. I am making the constitutional civil liberties case. If Hillary Clinton had been elected, by the way, I'd been thrilled. I worked hard on her campaign, and they were trying to lock her up. I'd have written the same book, except it would have had a different name, The Case Against Impeaching Clinton. I would have said exactly the same thing, made the same arguments, and the people on Martha's Vineyard would be hugging me and kissing me, and all the liberals would love me. But because I'm making the case for a president they disapprove of, a civil liberties neutral case,
has it been worth it to be ostracized from social circles for this constitutional defense?
Are you kidding? First of all,
you seem pretty upset.
I've been ostracized before, and you know, it makes you understand the difference between your real friends.
Yeah, that's true.
You're welcome at this damn table.
I appreciate that. That's the most important thing.
Place in daytime, dishing out the hottest topics.
We try to let y'all know what's happening as we're seeing it.
It's okay to be strong and angry. I'd rather be strong than sweet.
Nailed it.
That's my opening statement if I'm a prosecutor. Boom, case made. I'm sick of it. She's sick of it.
So grab your phone and join the conversation.
We don't shy away from hard things on this show.
Yes, yes. And don't miss The View on ABC.
Advil presents a big breakthrough in pain relief. Advil Liquigels Minis, a mighty small pill with concentrated power that works at liquid speed. You'll ask, what pain? Advil Liquigels Minis.
Smooth, easy strokes.
When you're raising a child,
pinch.
Be soft. When you're doing it alone, be strong.
Thanks, Dad.
Life takes softness and strength, which is why we make Angel Soft with a balance of both.
Tomorrow morning, Bette Midler, Robin Roberts, one-on-one.
How could I stay away from something like that?
Exactly. Tomorrow on...
Good morning, America.
Looking for the best flooring values? It's all here at Floors Direct. Carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl, and more. Floors Direct. Say yes to paying less.
Come on over to Adventureland. You're gonna have a fun day.
Enjoy all of Adventureland's rides, shows, and attractions, including Bernie's Barnyard Kids Area, coming in June. The Monster and Adventure Bay. Fun for the whole family. 2 great parks, all for one low price. See our website for park and water park operation dates.
Come on over to Adventureland. You're gonna love it at Adventureland.
Food moments. One-of-a-kind moments. The real moments. Nothing compares to Iowa State Fair moments. August 9th through the 19th in Des Moines.
Local 5's team of meteorologists track how the weather will affect you.
Mapping at street level, focusing in on your neighborhood. Pinpointing the weather at your kid's school so you know what to expect.
Street level mapping. Another reason Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards and the Local 5 weather team are Iowa's most accurate.
Dershowitz, and before I ask my question, I wanted to speak to what Megan said. I think so many people get confused. There was an article written about you called "What Happened to Alan Dershowitz," and the response was, "What happened to everyone else?"
Yeah, like, maybe the question isn't what happened to Alan Dershowitz, maybe it's what happened to everyone else.
Which
right?
I think speaks to the hysteria of the times. When your argument happens to fall in line with someone legally, which happens to be Trump, people assume so much because the emotion of the times doesn't allow them to see that your love is of the law.
But it's so dangerous because that means you can't represent unpopular people because you get tagged with their unpopularity. And you must have lawyers able to represent the most despised people in the world. And because I was a professor with tenure, I had no excuse. I would always take on the cases that no one else would take on. Won some, lost some. When I lost, everybody was happy. It's when I won, like in the O.J. Simpson case, what a terrible thing you did.
When you have to support the civil liberties of the person you hate the most, because then who comes next? And it could be you next time.
Because that's why you
I just wanted to clear that because I always hear people say that. And that's
people on Martha's Vineyard will hear that and start treating you like they used to. It's interesting.
Fine. I'm fine. Look, I am now back in dialogue with the people who originally weren't talking to me. I think it's all fine. This is a bigger issue. This is about what's going on at college campuses today, where students aren't talking to each other.
Families aren't at dinner.
You know, when I argue a case in court, you're a prosecutor, we argue ferociously, then we shake hands.
And we go out for drinks after.
We go out for drinks.
I say that all the time.
That isn't happening in America.
No, but it hasn't happened since the last president, what came into office, because he came in and Mitch McConnell said, we're not going to do anything to help you. So to me, that tear, which we knew was there before, has now become so...
Can we try to... I mean, you guys have a voice. We should all work together to heal, bring them together if possible. Disagree, argue.
It's hard when somebody keeps throwing stink bombs at you.
I know,
You have to find a legal argument to impeach him, and then we'll all like him.
Well, that's the thing,
But if that same legal argument were then used to impeach the next Democratic president, you wouldn't like
it keeps
so
happening.
much.
We're in an emergency situation.
Mr. Dershowitz. Sorry, George. Okay, in your new book, The Case Against Impeaching Trump, you give many reasons why Trump shouldn't be impeached. But can you give the one big reason why?
Well, because so far there's no evidence that he's actually committed an impeachable crime. And if you're going to remove a president, you better comply with the letter of the Constitution. And this should be not political. The only president should be impeached, that's where we require a 2/3 vote in the Senate, is when everybody's against them, like Richard Nixon. He would have been impeached had he not left office. But in my book, The Case for Impeachment, I try to make a neutral argument in a readable way that's not only for this case, but for every case in the future, because impeachment is a very important part of our system of checks and balances, and it shouldn't ever be abused.
But you know, here's the thing. I was saying in Hot Topics that the guy is under investigation by the FBI for collusion, for obstruction, for violating the Emoluments Clause. I mean, there's a list of things.
Right.
And as you just mentioned, Mitch McConnell stole the last Supreme Court justice, which I think should be illegal, but it probably isn't. So then why should we give this president, who is under investigation, a chance to affect the lives of millions of people with this next Supreme Court justice?
Because if you don't, then every president will be investigated by the opposing party in order to prevent them from making Supreme Court nominations. And remember, too, that when Clinton was in trouble and being investigated, took his case to the Supreme Court, and the 2 justices he appointed voted against him. And Nixon, the justices who he appointed, voted against him. We have to have faith in our system of justice.
Mitch McConnell now set a precedent for interfering in the process?
Absolutely. The question is, do 2 wrongs make a right? And I think reasonable people
can...
But investigating is okay.
Investigating by the right institutions.
So all we can do is work with the institutions we have now. So do you think it's a good idea for them to continue to tamper with Mueller?
Well, nobody should tamper. Tampering is a crime, but you can criticize. I've spent my life criticizing prosecutors. Look, Rudy Giuliani. I criticized him so much when he was the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney. Now he is the lawyer for the president. That's the way we have our system. Sometimes you're a defense attorney, sometimes you're a prosecuting attorney, and you see the world a little differently. Now, maybe I'm skewed. I've only been a defense attorney.
Yes, you are skewed.
We're going to resolve doubts against convicting people.
We're going to continue this. So we're going to stay here with Alan Dershowitz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, want to shake things up? Yes! Yes! Well, you've come to the right place.
Don't you ask me to rap for my whoop. I hit a high and note for my whoop.
That's why you love The View.
Yeah. Drop the mic
on ABC.
Hey there, people eligible for Medicare. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll tell you some important things to know about Medicare. First, it doesn't pay for everything. Say this pizza is your Part B medical expenses. This much, about 80%, Medicare will pay for. What's left, this slice here, well, that's on you. And that's where an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, comes in. This type of plan helps pay some of what Medicare doesn't. And these are the only plans to carry the AARP endorsement. That's because they meet their high standards of quality and service. Want to learn more? It's easy. Call United Healthcare Insurance Company now and ask for this free decision guide. Inside, you'll find the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans and their rates. Apply anytime, too. Oh, speaking of time, about a little over halfway, and there's more to tell. Like how with this type of plan, you'll have the freedom to choose any doctor who accepts Medicare patients. Great for staying with the one you know or finding somebody new, like a specialist. There are no networks and no referrals needed. None. And when you travel, your plan will go with you anywhere in the country. So if you're in another state visiting the grandkids, stay a while, enjoy, and know that you'll still be able to see any doctor who accepts Medicare patients. So call United Healthcare today. They are committed to being there for you. Tick, tick, tick. Time for a wrap-up. A Medicare supplement plan helps pay some of what Medicare doesn't. You know, the pizza slice. It allows you to choose any doctor who accepts Medicare patients. And these are the only plans of their kind endorsed by AARP. Phew. Call United Healthcare today and ask for this free decision guide.
Sarah always chooses to take the stairs, but climbing 58,070 steps a year can be hard on her feet, knees, and lower back. That's why she wears Dr. Scholl's orthotics. They're clinically proven to relieve pain and give you the comfort to move more. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Today on Local 5 News Midday, Warren County voters make a final decision on what to do with the crumbling old courthouse and jail, what property owners can expect now for a $30 million project in one of the most coveted pieces of property in Des Moines, pitting a development company against the federal government, who wants to see space for their own courthouse. Plus, we will take you live out to the State Fair ahead of schedule, give you a preview of the grounds, the layout. We got a lot to talk about today at 11.
Everybody feel good. Everybody feel good.
The new third hour of GMA starts September 10th on ABC.
Over the weekend, Rudy Giuliani said Michael Cohen should cooperate with prosecutors. And I've noticed recently Michael Cohen has been distancing himself from the president. Now his loyalty, he says, is to his country and to his family. But in your book, and you spent a lot of time writing about this Michael Cohen and the pardon issue, you said you don't think he's going to be pardoned.
I don't. I think that Michael Cohen probably doesn't have anything much on the president while he's been president, because he hasn't been his lawyer while he's been president.
Right.
He may have some information about his business dealings, but that's not Mueller's concern.
And he met with Russians, did he not?
He met, well, you know, everybody meets with Russians. I meet with Russians. I mean, it's the question is, was it unlawful collusion?
Right.
You know, I take an extreme position in this book. It's a very extreme position. I say, if Donald Trump, the candidate, had called Vladimir Putin and said, hey, Vlad, do I got a deal for you? I want to be elected president. You want to get rid of the Magnitsky sanctions. I hate the Magnitsky sanctions. If you help me get elected, there's a much better chance that we can get rid of those damn sanctions.
Yeah.
If that had happened, of course, it didn't happen. If
Right.
that had happened,
It could have happened.
It's not a crime. If he had said, I'll pay you money, or I'll take money from you, or do some hacking of the Democratic National Committee, that's all a crime. But collusion itself is not a crime.
That's
it
true.
should be.
But it isn't.
But
That
it's
is true.
not. And that you need a crime. And that, you know, I hate the idea of, we don't like these people, let's put a target on their back, and let's figure out how we can stretch the criminal law to fit them. As a criminal defense lawyer and a civil libertarian, I don't like that. I wish the ACLU were doing its job. It's not. You know, it's made so much money recently because it's anti-Trump, as that's understandable, that it won't protect Trump's civil liberties. And so I'm the only guy standing on this issue, and I've always defended people who no one else will defend. I don't defend him on his policies. I've been against what he did at Charlottesville. I've been against his immigration policies, against gun control, against his tax policies. My God, he wants to take breast milk away and don't let, you know, he wants to be against the use of breast milk and have formulas. I'm totally against all of those policies, but that doesn't mean that his civil liberties should be denied.
I need some more wisdom really quickly. So you said you'd stay in the Democratic Party as long as there was hope it could go back to normal.
Right.
What is your advice for the midterms?
Well, don't elect Cynthia Nixon first. I think you guys might disagree with that.
No,
but here's a woman
running for president?
who thinks, no, we're talking about the midterms. She is a woman who thinks ISIS is a terrorist organization. She knows a little bit about terrorism because she supports ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS is. Yeah. She supports boycotting the nation state of the Jewish people, Israel, who are fighting against terrorism. So she should focus her attention on real terrorists, not on ICE, which should be reformed and changed, but not called a terrorist organization.
You're just going to have to come back.
I know.
Our thanks to Alan Dershowitz. Members of the audience, you are getting a copy of his book. Read it and make your own decision. We'll be back.
It's Sunny's forecast of the hottest summer reads on today's chapter of The Ladies Get Lit.
They're all going in the same direction, but in very different ways. And Pampers gives all of them our driest, best-fitting diaper. Pampers Cruisers with 3-way fit. They adapt at the waist, legs, and bottom, with up to 12 hours of protection for all the freedom to move their way in Pampers Cruisers. Only Pampers diapers are the #1 choice of hospitals, nurses, and parents.
I struggled with depression. I thought I needed cigarettes to cope. I was able to quit smoking, and then I started running. Now I feel a lot better.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
At Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, our expert designers offer free personalized services to help make your home comfortable. Maybe too comfortable. Announcing the Lazy Boy Anniversary Sale. Come in to save on great-looking furniture options for your entire home. Plus, you'll get 0% interest until January 2021. Shop with no pressure. Take your time. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
got some new blood and some pushing the expiration date.
Gotta work twice as fast, 3 times as hard.
Because you're old as hell?
Nathan Fillion is The Rookie. Tuesdays this fall on ABC.
All week long, we're giving you our picks for great summer reads, and today it's my chapter of The Ladies Get Lit. So, I know you're all wondering why there is champagne on the table, my personal favorite. It brings me to my first book, The Widow Clicquot by Tiller J. Mazzeo. It's the true story of the young French woman, Madame Clicquot-Ponsardine, who defied the odds and founded a global champagne empire. We owe our champagne to a woman. The Widow Clicquot was the first woman to head an international company. Her innovations in the cellars changed the history of champagne and created today's luxury champagne. And guess what? When you open up the Veuve Clicquot bottle, her picture is on the cork. And most people miss that. Most people miss that. So it's a fantastic book. And I hope you'll read it. My next book is a novel called An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. It's about how the lives of newlyweds, Celestial and Roy, are torn apart when Roy is arrested and sentenced to 12 years for a crime his wife knows he didn't commit. My husband recommended this book. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why. But it's a wonderful book. While Roy is imprisoned, Celestial takes comfort in her childhood best friend, who was also the best man at their wedding. After 5 years, Roy's conviction is overturned, and he returns home to a different life and a different wife. But it's really a page-turner. My next choice, Chariot on the Mountain by Emmy Award-winning journalist and my good friend Jack Ford. It is a true story. Jack is a wonderful storyteller, but also somewhat of a historian. It tells the story of the unlikely friendship between a young slave, her mistress, and the daughter of a wealthy landowner. Jack actually went to the courthouse in Virginia, and it recounts the court case of a young slave named Kitty, who was granted her freedom in 1846. It's one of the first cases where a slave challenged her position. It describes the struggle of slavery in the Old South 15 years before the Civil War even began. It is fascinating. My fourth book, you all know how much I love my girls. That's right, not my View girls, but my hen. So, if you also love raising chickens, this book is for you. Or if you just want to raise chickens, because it's so much fun and it's so
Ain't nobody trying to raise those chickens.
This book, Fresh Eggs Daily, Raising Happy, Healthy Chickens Naturally by Lisa Steele, is amazing. It's taught me so much.
For everybody in the project.
We've become email pals. This book tells you all you need to know about coops, chicken runs, nesting boxes, breeding, feeding, and it's all done naturally. Guess what I learned from Lisa? Basically, you can put lavender in the nesting boxes and it calms down the girls, and then they lay more eggs. Boom, how about that? I love these books, and I want you to love them too. So you're all going home with a copy of each?
So there you have it. We want to thank you for watching. You may not feel the same way, but we feel very thankful that you're watching. We're thankful that you came. We want you all to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy the view and get those chicken coops ready right in your neighborhood.
Coming up on Local 5 News Midday, new video this morning of missing a University of Iowa student, Molly Tibbetts. We hear for the first time what she sounds like as she speaks at a school event from 2 years ago.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Her husband claims she's a raging alcoholic.
Do you remember exposing yourself to my male staff?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh, Jesus.
She left him.
You thought he was cheating on you. You go home and key his car.
But now,
I still love him, Dr. Phil.
she wants him back.
I mean, it's just toxic, kinda.
Kinda.
On the next Dr. Phil.
Today at 4 on Local 5.
You're watching Local 5 News Midday in HD. We are Iowa's most accurate weather team, and we start with your forecast first.
Good morning, everyone. We are pretty much sunny across the board here in central and especially northern Iowa. Maybe a few clouds passing down south, but that's really about it. And more importantly, all of us are dry as opposed to those morning rain showers we had yesterday morning. Temperatures are on the rise, so it was a cool start to the day, but we are now in the upper 70s and even a couple of 80s down in southern Iowa near Centerville. So it's going to pan out to be a pretty